would simply be having a lot of letters, and then you're going to isolate a particular letter. And it has to tell you which one to isolate, because you can't just guess. Right now, this has been isolated to equal to C. So we want it to say equals to A. This one has not been isolated at all because it says equals all of this or equals that. So we're going to now do exactly the same thing when we had to isolate just one variable using that same process. We're starting with your addition and subtraction first, so that's why I put that at the top. If you see plus and minus, we'll start with that first. Sometimes, though, you might have to start with division. Okay, that's when you see a fraction, and then you would have to multiply. So we'll get into both of these situations where you might be starting with plus and minus first. You might be looking at the division because it's a fraction, and then you would need to do the inverse property of that particular operation. So if I want to get A by itself, so I'm going to look over here and I see there's a B over here with the A. So just think of it as a number. What if there had been a 6 over there with the A? How would I get a 6 to the other side? I would subtract it over, correct? So I'm going to do the exact same thing. That just happens to be letters instead of numbers. So since this is a positive B, to get it to the other side, I'm going to subtract B. Now notice when I subtract B over here, I did not align it directly under the C. Does anybody know why? Yes. Very good. They are different variables. You cannot add an A to a B. You can't add different letters to one another. So don't line them up directly under each other because you cannot combine them together, right? So this gets rid of the B, which is exactly what I wanted to happen because I'm trying to isolate A. I'm going to bring down what's left on the left side, which is negative 2A. Okay, that's what I have left so far. Bring down my equal sign, and then I'm just going to write the right side as C minus B because that's what's left. I can't combine them together. I have C minus B. Okay, now you want to look and say, all right, I still got to get this A term by itself. The coefficient to that is a negative 2, which is being multiplied by negative 2. The opposite of multiplication is division. Correct? So I am going to divide both of these by negative 2, and I can just do one line just like that, or I could also write it this way. C divided by negative 2 minus B divided by negative 2. Okay, you can do it that way as well. Now, if I divide by the negative 2, then what's going to happen is this will change to a what? A positive. So I would accept this answer right here, C minus B divided by negative 2, and then you don't have to go any further with, dividing through by the negative. All right, so you can leave it as C minus B divided by negative 2. Okay, I'm going to move on to number 2 because until we do like several of these, you'll kind of get the feel of what we're doing. Okay, it'll take a little time, and then I'll see if you have, and definitely if you have a question as I'm going through, you can raise your hand and I'll definitely answer it. So this one, I'm trying to isolate B. All right, I'm trying to get B by itself this time. Solve for B. So the first thing I do when it says, okay, solve for a particular variable, I look to see what's over there with that variable. And what I see is, I see a plus 3 and I see 6C. That's what's over there with the B. So remember I said if you see plus and minus, you want to start with that. So I am going to start with getting rid of that plus 3. So what is the opposite of plus 3? Minus 3, same thing. So I'm going to subtract 3 here. But look, there's a number over here, so I can actually line that up with the 4. They're both constants. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. And 4 minus 3 on the left side will give me 1 minus A equals 6c minus b. All right, so I'm getting somewhere because I got to get b by itself. So now what's over there still with that b is the 6c. Okay, so what is the opposite of a positive 6c? A minus 6c. So I got to move that over to the other side. Okay, and notice I didn't line it up under the 1 and the a because they're unlike terms. All right. So then I'm just going to go ahead and write what I have left. I'll just start at the top and then go to the bottom. 1 minus a minus 6c equals to negative b. Okay. All right, here we go. Now I need to get rid of that negative 1. That's a coefficient. So I'm going to divide by negative 1. Okay, because that negative b means negative 1b. So I have to divide by negative 1 there. And I'm going to go ahead and divide each one of these by negative 1 because it's just going to change the sign. It's not like the negative 2 that we did a few minutes ago. So let's just go ahead and divide through by the negative. So that's going to change the first term to negative 1, positive a, positive 6c, and then that equals to b. So dividing through by negative just basically changed the signs of everything. Okay, and that's your answer. Okay. All right, and number 3, there's that exception where I said sometimes you do the, start and looking to see if there's a division, which looks like a fraction, and in case that's number 3 and number 4. So you don't want to start with the plus and the minus stuff. You want to start with this right here, okay? So if it looks like a fraction, you tend to do that first, not the plus and minus stuff. So this says it is divided by negative 4c. What's the opposite of division? So I want to multiply, and I'm trying to isolate c, but I got to multiply by negative 4c, because again, it's a fraction, and I want to eliminate the fraction. So that's going to cancel out this right here, or make it one whole, technically. Okay. That's what I want to do. I want to eliminate that divided piece. All right. All right, so let's go ahead and finish. So I'm going to have 8a minus 4c equals negative 4c. Now, how did that equal to negative 4c? Because I multiplied 1 times negative 4. You can multiply unlike terms, and you can divide unlike terms. You cannot add or subtract them. All right, so that should be 8a minus 4b, all right? Thank you. So we're trying to still get b by itself. What's over there with the b? We're starting for c, sorry. What's over there? Well, actually, there's nothing's over there except for the negative 4. How do I get rid of that? Divide by what? Very good. So I'm going to divide each term by negative 4. Right? And again, you can divide unlike terms. You just can't add or subtract. So that's going to give me what for the first term? Negative 2a. What's the second term? Plus b equals to what? There you go. Okay. All right, let's do number 4. So I have to get rid of that divided by b, so I'm going to multiply both sides by b. Okay, that's going to get rid of that. And then I'm going to write down the, and look guys, look here. Can I just combine these together instead of just doing 6a minus 7a? What is 6a minus 7a? It's negative 1a. So let's just say negative a minus b plus c equals to 3b. Now I'm solving for a, and what's over there with a is that minus b and plus c. So let's add b. But look, I can put this directly under the 3b because they're like terms. So now I have negative a plus c equals to how many b's? 4b, because that's like an invisible 1, right? Still trying to get a by itself. How do I get rid of that plus c? minus C. Very good. So now I have negative A equals to 4B minus C. What do I do next? Divide by the negative 1. Each term, that is, has to be divided by negative 1. So A equals negative 4B plus C. Is that correct? All right, and let me write this a little bit better. Negative 4B plus C. Okay. All right, so I'm going to have you guys do number 5 because it's very similar to the 2 above it. And then we'll check in a second to see how you did. All right, so what should I do first in number 5? Okay. All right, guys, we're getting started at this point. So I'm going to multiply A on both sides. So what will that leave me with on the left? Uh-huh. Keep going. I want the whole thing. Okay, minus 9C. All right, what's my next step? All right, so I'm going to add 9C to both sides. All right, so that's going to give me 6A plus 9C equals to 3B. What do I do after that? Okay, divide each term by 3. And that's going to leave me with what? All right, so in question number 6, I'm going to go ahead and distribute 1/2 to 2. Well, what's half of 2? 1. So that's 1C. Minus half of 4 is 2B. Okay. And it says we're solving for C. Now notice I have C's on both sides. So I will first want to collect them all to one side. So let's just take this C that's here and move it to the other side. Okay, because you want them all to be together. So that's going to give me negative 2B equals, well, 2 minus 1 will just leave me with 1C minus A. All right, now since I'm solving for C, I got to get rid of which variable? The minus A. So what's the opposite of minus A? Plus A. So that's going to leave me with negative 2B plus A, or you could say A minus 2B because we usually like to have our variables in numerical order, alphabetical order, equals to C, but I would accept either one. Okay. All right, now I'm going to add 1 at the bottom. So just give me eyes to the bottom here. We'll call this 6A. All right. And let's write V equals 1/3 BH, area of the base times the height. So this is an actual geometry formula. And let's just say we want to solve for H. Okay. So if I wanted to solve this for H, and I have this fraction here, that's division, how do I get rid of that division? What would I do? Yes. Very good. I'm going to multiply both sides by 3. Okay? Because I want to get rid of this. I don't want to have division in my problem. So 3 times V is going to give me 3V equals capital B times H. Now, since I'm solving for H is being multiplied by B. How do I eliminate the B? Divide. Very good. You guys will listen to those words I'm saying because I say divide, or multiply, divide, and vice versa. So my answer is 3V over B equals to H. Okay.